In the hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it mentions that when a person they enter a masjid, the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they should not sit down until they pray 2 rakats called the tahiyatul masjid, called the greeting of the masjid. And this hadith was narrated by Bukhari. And what it is the masjid is the place of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And just like when people they meet their friends and other people, they greet them when they meet them, the same thing when a person they go to the masjid, they greet the masjid by praying these 2 rakats of salat. And it is something that's mentioned in the hadith. Most of the ulama they say it's not a sin if a person they left it out, but that is something that's mentioned in the hadith. So a person they should do so to pray the 2 rakats, the salat, before sitting down in the masjid. And when they enter the masjid, if they're passing through, they're not going to sit down or they're standing up, then it would not apply for the person. Now the issue comes up, what about if a person they enter the masjid and it's in a time where a person they're not allowed to pray the salat, like after salat al-fajr, a person they can't pray the salats, the optional salats until the sunrise, or after salat al-asr, a person they can't pray the optional salats until the sun sets. In those times, what should a person do if they enter the masjid? Should they pray the salat or not? And for this issue, there are 2 views from the ulama. Some of the ulama they say yes, you do pray the 2 rakats because it's a specific salat, and some of the ulama they say no, you don't pray the salat because because the timing it's not allowed to pray during that time. And the view where they say to pray the salat because it's a specific salat and there's a reason for it, that's in the Shafi school. And in the Hanafi school, they say the timing it's not allowed to pray, so you don't pray the 2 rakats. Now what happens is to look at this, the reasoning for this, a person they have to go to what's called the usul al-fiqh. The usul al-fiqh is the rules and how to come up with the derivations for the rulings. And there's one rule for the usul al-fiqh, which is the logic and the computation and reasoning to come up with a final ruling. And one of the rules is al-khasa yuakid ala al-amma, something that is specific that takes the precedence over something that's general. That means if you have 2 rulings, and one is a general ruling which is more wide encompassing, and then you have a ruling which is specific to something, then the specific ruling takes precedence. Like for example in the Quran it says, وَتَعَامُ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ حِلٌّ لَكُمْ, the food of the people of the book, the Christian and the Jewish people, are allowed for you. But there's another statement that the pork, the pig meat, is forbidden. So what happens is the food that's general, that's wide encompassing, and the pork is specific. So the specific, it takes the ruling of something that's specific. Now in the case of praying after Salat al-Fajr and after Salat al-Asr, there's 2 different ways that people they come up with a derivation. First, looking at the time as specific and forbidden. If a person they look at that, which is the Hanafi school, they say generally a person they can pray the salat any time that they want to, but the time is specific. After Salat al-Asr you can't pray, or after Salat al-Fajr you can't pray, or when the sun is in the middle of the horizon, in the middle of the sky, you can't pray. So they say the time is specific, and the times where that you pray these the tahiyatul masjid and the other ones, it's general. So the specific rule takes precedence that you don't pray the salat. In the other school, the Shafi school, they look at it the other way around. They say the prayer itself is what's specific and general. So what they're saying is that not to pray the salat in these forbidden times, that's for general, that's for the optional prayers, that's for generally for all the prayers. But because there's a specific reason to pray the salat, then a person they can do so. And because there's a specific reason when a person they enter the masjid, the tahiyatul masjid, so therefore a person they can pray the salat in the tahiyatul masjid. And they also mention the example of, like for example, the Salata Tawaf, when a person, they go to the Kaaba and they go around the Kaaba 7 times and they pray 2 rakats behind the Maqam Ibrahim. So if that's at the time after Salatul Asr or Salatul Fajr, then the person, they still pray the 2 rakats. And also like the Salatul Janaza, a person, they're praying the funeral prayer. So at that time it's a specific prayer, so the person, they do that. So that's the view of the Shafi school. But the person, they do pray the 2 rakats in these times, even though generally speaking, it's not allowed to pray the salat and the optional salats during these times. So which one should a person follow? Well, a person, they should follow what they learned from their imam, from their teacher. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made the deen, He made the religion on the main rulings. He made just one answer. The Quran and the Sunnah, there's only one answer. But then when you have people that make their judgments, you have the differences, and every person, they'll have something different than another person. So what's appropriate for a person, what they learned from their teacher, from their imam or their sheikh, a person, they go by that. And when a person, they become more studious, more scholarly, more knowledgeable, then they can study the different views and the different opinions on that's mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He made in the religion. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, and may peace and blessings be upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Jazakallah khair. Thanks for watching, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase you much in the beneficial knowledge.